So in this program, I'm going to show you how to get input from the user into the program. So to do that in Python, you use this very simple command called input, which will display whatever text you put in the quotes as the prompt for the input, and then whatever the user inputs will go into the variable that you've allocated here, and the same for the second input. This bit of code here, what that will do, it will concatenate whatever you've inputted in. So surname will be added to a comma plus the forename, or if you don't want to add the strings together, you can print them out as separate statements by saying print the surname, comma, plus a comma, comma the forename. So if I run this program, you'll see here it says enter your surname, so I'll say Bradshaw. Enter your first name, I would say Harry, and it will display Bradshaw, comma Harry, Bradshaw, comma Harry. Notice when you concatenate, it will put the strings together and there is no space after Bradshaw. When you print the statements one at a time, it will automatically put a space after you print each one. So hence you've now got a space with before and after each statement. So that's basically the input. The next stage we're going to look at is how you then, using a combination of inputs, how you can input not just text but values. So here's another program which again takes two inputs from the user, in this case two numbers. So this one here, this statement here will take a input from the user with the prompt please enter first number, adds it, puts that into number one variable. This does the same, a second number, puts it into the variable number two. Then we create a third variable called total, which is number one plus number two, and then we add or output the total. So we output the string total is, and we concatenate, we add the two strings together, the plus total, or we print it out one at a time, this time doing the addition here. So we'll run the program and see what it does. Okay, so it says there please enter your first number. So okay, I'll enter the number 30, press enter. Please enter your second number, the number 20. Now notice what it has done. It hasn't quite worked out why, and I'll explain why. So what it's done, it's taken the text input and put it into a variable called number one. It's taken the text input and put it into number two. It has then added to the string the number one, which is the text 30, and added the string 20 to 30, and it's done the same for the second one there. So it's effectively what it's done is added the two texts. Now we don't want that, we want the numbers. So we have to change the data type, the text input, into a number in order to do a number calculation. So we change the program slightly by using the function int. Now in Python, a function is something that does it's kind of a mini program that does, where you write the name of the function and then you put the data that goes into the function into brackets. So in this case, we're saying use the int function, and as its input, use another function called input, which takes the text from the user and then puts that text into the function int to convert into a number. So effectively, we're running two functions, if you like. So I'm going to get the next bit and I'm going to do the same. So now we have two, instead of text, we have two numbers, which we'll see what happens now. So we'll run it again. And again, so I'm going to put the same numbers in. But now we have an error. And it says here, can only concatenate strings, which is true. We can only add, the word concatenation means add two strings together. We can't add them strings anymore because they're not strings. They are now numbers. They're integers. So we're trying to add an integer to a string, which we can't do. So what we have to say, instead of using the function int, the opposite of that, or convert, not the opposite, sorry, but to convert it into a string, we use the word the function string. So that will now convert that to a string. If I run it again, so we get 30, 20. Now, you'll notice something strange here. And you're saying, well, that works, and so does that, but you haven't used the string function there. That is true, because in this instruction here, we're not concatenating, we're not adding two strings together. We're printing two separate, we're printing a string and the addition of two numbers as two separate statements on the same line using the comma. That's why we're not getting an error on that. Now, some programmers prefer to use this method. Some prefer to use this method. It doesn't really matter. They work equally as well. So I hope that helps. That's our first input and output program.